God did not put us here defenseless. This body not only protects itself, but it prevents illness from coming in.
Welcome to another episode where we have real conversation with real people. Today we have a special guest. He's part of the baby boomers. He's a content creator. He's a fitness. I don't want to say a fitness coach, but I know he real big on fitness. That's what he known for in the content world. Welcome, Dwight Williams. How you doing?
Yes, I'm great. Glad to
Man,
be here.
yeah, man. I'm glad you took the time out, man. And we gotta get straight to it, man. So I wanna ask, man, like at 75 years old, what matters most to you now?
Well, maybe the last time I talked to you, I was 75. Time go by so fast. I'm 76 now. But
Oh, okay.
yeah. So no, you said what matters to me most?
Yeah.
To keep on living, stay strong, feel
Uh-huh.
physically strong and healthy. That's everything. That's number one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Cause it's crazy how I found your video, man. It was through TikTok. You was always popping up a long time ago. And I really admire how fit your body is. I admire how at your age you doing the things you were doing that most people your age not doing or people my age not doing. And what I want to ask is what inspired you to take fitness seriously?
Well, uh, when I was 18, let me tell you, the doctor wanted to take out my left kidney. Told me if I didn't have my left kidney removed, I was going to die. And I
Mm,
had been. This is in 1967. Okay, I had been dealing with bad kidneys since 1959. They wanted to take it out in 1959 when I was 10. So when he told me at 18 in 67, it didn't really faze me that much, because I had been dealing with it for 8 years,
yeah.
and I had conquered the fear of death. So death didn't scare me. And
Mm,
so when I told him I didn't want to do it, of course, the doctor and my mother was like shocked. What do you mean? Doctor said you're gonna die. And I said, no, I'm a. And the thing is, I didn't want any more needles. I didn't want more drugs in my veins. I didn't want more tubes down my penis. I didn't want. I had been done everything to me, and I didn't want any more. And so I felt confident that I can deal with. I'm gonna take care of myself. And so I'm saying this is 1967. There was no nobody was talking about vegans or vegetarians or um, whole food health.
right,
I didn't know any of that.
right.
All I knew was that I got to take care of the white, and
Yeah.
so that has been the foremost in my mind. Not that I was, and the only thing that I knew to do was to. Well, one thing the doctor told me when I left the office, he said, "Well, Dwight, you better drink plenty of water." And so now, I mean, that's all I do. That's
Yeah.
all I do is drink water and the juices that I make and the smoothies that I make, or that I might buy out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to ask you, so the doctor mentioned about okay, your kidneys and you was on the verge of dying. So what was the steps you took to get your kidney strong and for you to live this long life you've been living?
Uh, I immediately started watching what I ate. I started become very finicky and particular about what I ate until today. I mean, I'm very choosy. And like I tell people, today I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan. Listen, my mother was a vegetarian. My older sister was a vegan, and my daughter, who was a doctor, was a vegan. All of them are dead now. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've got to be particular, but it's not just one thing that's going to do to save you or to lengthen your life. It's a combination of things. So,
Right.
that's why I say to you, I'm very picky about what I eat, choosy. And
Right.
but what I learned going to Africa and Asia and throughout the Caribbean is uh, how to deal with and to communicate with my body. Sounds strange because it's foreign
Yeah.
to Western doctors. But let me tell you, what saved me is I have the ability I learned in China to literally. listen to me now,
Mm-hmm.
communicate with my organs, my heart. I can control those, just like I control my hand. It's all
Mm-hmm.
here. Just like I control my arm, my feet through here.
Yeah.
Same thing with I got my book coming out the end of this month. It's called How I Extended My Life Without Doctors, Prescriptions, or Surgery. It comes out the end of this month. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, it's in the mind. For instance, the last time I went to the doctor to have my kidneys checked was in 1986. It was
Dang.
19 years after the doctor told me I was going to die. And when that doctor looked at my kidneys,
Wait,
they
hold on.
said
You
that
you said you said 1986 or 1968?
when he told me that they want to take out my kidney was 1967.
Mm-hmm.
I was 18. The last time I've been to the doctor to have my kidneys checked was in 1986, 19 years later.
Oh, 19 years
Okay.
later. Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, in 86. They told me at that time that my left kidney was the size of a nickel.
Mm.
Okay, the average kidney is the size of a fist.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't surprise me. I knew it was, I knew, my left kidney was small. But what shocked me though was that they told me that there was only 50% functioning in my right kidney, and
Right.
that surprised me.
Yeah.
Uh, but now I have not been to the doctor since then. That's
Wow.
almost that's almost 40 years.
So I'm
Okay.
assuming you must don't like doctors. I'm one of those types. I don't for me personally, I don't like going to the doctor unless I break a
Well,
leg.
listen. I like doctors. Like I said, my daughter was a doctor. My cousin is a doctor. But I go to the doctor if I get in an accident. If I get a car accident, take me to the doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
If I get shot, take me to the doctor.
Right.
If I break my leg, something that I can't heal, take me to the doctor. But anything else, I can deal with. Okay. The body. Let me tell you, God did not put us here defenseless. This body, this body not only protects itself, but it prevents illness from coming in.
Right.
This is what I'm saying in my book here, show you. And I want y'all guys to watch me. I don't think I'm gonna get cancer or heart attack or strokes. As
Mm-hmm.
long as I can do the deep sleep. That's what I do every morning before I get out of my bed. I set my alarm for 5 minutes. I do what I call deep sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally relax my body. And I can feel the blood vessels open. This is how I communicate with my body, my organs. I can feel those blood vessels opening up in my body. If I have any pain anywhere, when I wake up in the morning, I do that deep sleep. That is what protects me.
Mm.
Then after I do that, I learned in Africa about demassaging my joints, my knees. I communicate with my fingers and my toes and my joints every day.
Yeah.
That's why they move. I am the boss of my body.
Right.
And all my doctors that I had back in the 60s, all of them been dead. Okay? The ones that told me I was going to die, they've been dead. I'm still here.
Yeah. And I want to
And
ask you this too. I want to ask you this too because you said something that stood out. You said how you took matters in your own hands when it came to your health. The doctors, scaring you, how you're gonna die and stuff like that. And a lot of people rely on the doctors for knowledge. And I want to know is not what I want to ask you is why do people rely too much on medication instead of a lifestyle change?
because it's easier. They listen. Your frailties. I know my frailties. I know what I
Right.
don't know, and we assume that we don't know. And then this guy said he went to school for 8 years, and so he knows my body. Don't nobody know your body better than you. No, don't nobody know my body better than me. Okay, I spent 25. He spent 8 years in school. I spent 25 years going to Africa and Asia, throughout the Caribbean, learning them secrets.
Yeah.
And it's basic, and it's even in my book it's coming out. It's only got 75 pages, but I was able to break down this complicated health thing and make it simple because you
Mm.
got the power. God gave us the power. You just got to know how to use it.
Mm.
And so to answer your question, they don't know that they got the power. You
Mm.
know, when I was in the hospital and I was, I was 10 and 11. I was in and out of the hospital all the time,
Yeah.
and I would see, and this is, I would see the adults and children who were sick, and when their doctors came to see them in the room, in the hospital room or something, they seemed to get better. They seemed more cheerful. They seemed more up because it was here. You know what I mean? That whether it was, and then when the doctors left, maybe 5 minutes after the doctor left, they started feeling sick again. And I said, I wonder, what is that? Is it that white coat or the stethoscope around their neck? What made them feel a little bit better when the doctor came? But it's here. And
It's all in
what
the
made
mind.
them feel better is the same thing that I use to help me,
Mm-hmm.
and that we all have. Uh, they don't know that they didn't realize the power that they had, but psychologically, when that doctor came in, their minds, their body, their spirit saw and felt hope, and in that doctor for that few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and that same energy, that same power that we have in us is what can keep you and prevent you from getting sick and illnesses.
Right.
But I
Right.
break it down in the book, and it took me 15 years to write this book because I couldn't even
Yeah.
be able to explain those things to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And you know, as you know, knowledge is power, and it is very important for people to get the knowledge when it comes to your health. A lot of people rely on doctors, and they don't take the time out and do their own research. I believe that's one of the reasons why a lot of people be dying so quickly, because of they're not willing to accept the teaching. You know, my father, which I shared with you before in the past, my dad had bad healthy habits. My dad was one of those types where he listened to everything what the doctor tells him. You know what I'm saying? And it was very frustrating, at times. But it just, I know I know there's a lot of people like my father who's very stubborn.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The majority of the people are like that because they don't know
Yeah,
no better. I mean, that's all, the doctors, that's what all they know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listen, real quick. When I was having my kidney problems, and before we got to my urologist, the good one, my mother and I went through a lot of bad doctors. So what was having is that whenever I went to the bathroom, I would have a excruciating pain in my left side is what was happening. And we went to the first doctor we went to. This is in 1959. He told me that the reason that I was having that pain and blood was coming out when I urinated
Okay.
is because I needed to be circumcised. That's what he told me. I wasn't
Um.
circumcised, and then and so I'm 10, so I got to get circumcised, right? And so my mother went along with him because I told my mother how cutting my penis gonna make my side stop hurting and to stop blood. I'm
Yeah.
10, and it didn't make sense to me, but I had to get circumcised, so that didn't stop the pain. So I got circumcised. I'm dealing with pain. Then I'm still having pain on my side. I'm still feeding blood. So what I'm saying is that this is the doctor. My mother didn't know no better, so she just listened to this doctor. And plus, my mother had good insurance too. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got to understand that that is the fuel of a lot of things too, because this is the money. The healthcare business is a $1 trillion business. So that's another reason that people they don't have any other alternatives. So they feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And so, at your age, how often do you work out?
I work out every day. Every
Mm.
day, and usually early in the morning, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That way, when I get up, if I got something to do and I can't exercise, routinely, or go to the gym, or I'm already in, I already did it. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I spend about half an hour, 45 minutes working out every day because I want to feel like I feel right now. Because if I don't do those things, I'll feel 76. Okay, if I lay around for one day, and I lay in the bed and just watch TV and just don't, don't do nothing. When I get up, go to the bathroom or something, I'm stiff.
Yeah.
So because what happens is that the aging process is happening every second, okay,
Right.
every minute. And I feel it more obviously than you do because because of my age.
Yeah.
But so I have to do it every day. I gotta work. I gotta fight it every day.
So how do you recover at your age? 'Cause like you said, being at your age is way different. So like, let me say it this way: when you was 30. you was probably able to do a lot of physical things and not feel any soreness at times. So I'm
Right.
pretty sure you probably feel soreness after workout at times, right? So what I want to ask you is, how do you do? What's your, if you don't mind sharing, what's the steps you take for you to recover your body at the age that you at now?
Well, let me say this. When I was your age, I'm in my 30s and early 40s. In my 30s, I wasn't working out like I do now. You know,
Oh, okay.
I didn't start working out like I do now until I was 42. I was 42, so that's been like 30, 35 years. Uh, but now, no. Once I started working out, I feel fine. You know, like I said, when I get up, if I don't do any exercise and I'm stiff, but as soon as I start doing it, I'm fine. I do
Yeah.
pull-ups. What I do every day, I do 100 push-ups every day. I do 30 to 50 pull-ups every day. I do like
Hmm.
30 squats every day, and I do, I stretch and move my body, so basically, that's just basic.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I have to do.
and
That's
and,
my
and
medicine.
and
That when you
I want to ask you this too. One of the things that caught my attention is how you do. I hope I'm saying that word right. You do a lot of kinesthetics.
calisthenics, yeah.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is it important for people to do kinesthetics?
Because I want to keep moving those muscles, in my body. You know what I mean? And uh, this this body is designed to keep moving. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We've got. I do those squats and stretches and everything because I want to use as many muscles as possible. Because I'm not. I tell people like I do my squats. I'm not trying to look like Hercules. I'm trying to save my knees.
Mm.
And I want to keep being able to stay mobile. The first thing that happens to us when we get older, the first thing to go is our legs. I don't need no cane for my hands. My It's for those legs. So you got to
Yeah.
keep those legs. That's the first thing. Old people gonna tell you that their feet hurt. They got sharp pains in their toes, and that's why in the book too, I tell people what I do every day after I do the deep sleep. I demassage all my joints, my toes, my fingers. I
Yeah.
My toes. I know my toes know me. And I know my toes very well
Yeah.
every day. My ankles, you gotta touch them, and I rub them and keep them stimulated because everything is blood flow. You got to keep that
Right.
blood flowing,
Right.
unrestricted.
Yeah. And what I like about you is that you're very disciplined. You very mentally strong, very disciplined. And what I want to ask you is, even people my age that I've seen who be struggling with this, like they have a problem of being consistent with their workout. They have a problem with being consistent with their health. It's a lot of young people that I know who's, having health problems. And you know what I'm saying? So what I want to ask you is just like, from your perspective, like, why do you think people is, no, what? Name me rephrase it this way. What is your advice for somebody who want to be consistent in the gym, but they're just struggling with being disciplined?
Well, I tell people first of all, I don't go to the gym that often. I go everything I do at home, or I can do it at the park or something. But I do it at home. That
Yeah.
way, I can do it when I feel like doing it. I got my pull up bars. I can do push ups. I can do it. I can do it at home. Um, and that works for me. That's why I tell you I can get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do my pull ups. I do my push ups, squats. I can do it anytime. I don't have to get in the car and go to the gym. That will be a strain for me if I had to do that. But and then when I do go to the gym, I'm still straight because I already worked out earlier. Uh, but the main thing is that it's here. You got to get control of your mind. You've got to control that mind. We're bombarded with so much media, um, and a lot of it is rhetoric and junk. And you got to
Right.
be able to discern to eliminate that and know you got to have tunnel vision. You know,
Mm.
you got and what it really takes is love. You got to love yourself enough to take care of yourself. You got to love yourself enough to set the example for your family. Like my
Right.
family, they used to, I was juicing 30 years ago, and and there was just so much foam in that juice. I don't like it. But now they gotten older, they juicing. Okay,
Right.
I don't talk to them. They just see my example. They doing push ups now. They doing pull ups because my son is 52. You know, he's 52, and he working out every day. He didn't
Yeah,
used to. You know,
yeah,
my
yeah,
daughters work out. No, they know.
yeah. That's
They've
good.
seen. So, my grandkids. So people learn by example. People can talk, but they want to see you walk the walk, and they're
Right,
watching
right.
all the time.
And then too, when you preach to them, they can't really give you no pushback because they looking at how you doing the walk. Cause some people
Right,
who be trying to give out suggestions, they not leaving the walk to walk. And yeah, man, no, health is wealth, man. You know, that's why if I'm blessed enough to make it to your age, I want to able to be mobile, able to move around. I don't have any children, but I do want to have children. I want to able to run around with my children. And one of the things
right,
that I never want my health to be a burden. I
yeah,
love my dad to death, but
yeah,
his health was a burden.
yeah,
It's very frustrating when you trying to get somebody on the right path that they don't want it for themselves,
yeah.
and one of the things you had mentioned, you said juicing. And what I want to ask is, by you juicing, how does that make your body feel? How do you feel mentally when you be juicing? Because people don't, people who haven't juiced, when you juice, it's way different than when you get juice from the store.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just did a video the other day about eating and drinking the foods that make you eliminate. Okay, that make you
Mm-hmm.
poop, go to the bathroom. Those are the kind of foods you want to eat. And then people they say, well, what are those foods? And I said, everybody's metabolism is different. So you got to find out. You know what foods make you go to the bathroom. Those
Right.
are the foods you need to be eating. You don't need to eat a food that's keeping you clogged all up. That food need to come in, do its job, and get out.
Yeah.
In, out, in, out. And so, but no, the juicing helps me to stay cleansed. It's light. I tell people, if you eat light, you eat right. You don't just eat to just gorge yourself and just, you can't even get up from the table. That's no. Just eat, just eat light. You're gonna eat right. Uh, you
Do
can't
you
help but think about it. From people, if they want to get healthy, uh,
do
them
you do you
medicine.
I want to ask you this, do you eat like two, 3 times a day, or once a day?
I eat when I feel like it. What I mean, sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Some like today I just had oatmeal. I had my oatmeal, and that's all I've had today. Yesterday I might have didn't. I don't think I ate until about 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? I eat when I want to eat. I don't eat by the clock or it's noon. It's 12 o'clock now, or it's 6 o'clock. I need to eat dinner. I eat when I feel like eating. In fact, I do the things in life that that I want to do when I want to do it. So
Yeah.
the main thing is love. Okay, do
Mm-hmm.
the things you love. Be around the people you love. Eat the food you love. Do the things you love. You ain't gonna have no problem. People get sick. You know why they get sick? Because
Why?
of what they ate. You ate the wrong foods. That
Right.
made you sick. When I
Yeah.
was in Africa in the late '70s, early '80s, there was no. I'm in West Africa, Nigeria, Liberia, the Ivory Coast. Uh, there was no heart attack and diabetes and strokes. All right,
Mm-hmm.
they had other problems, but it wasn't cancer and heart attack and strokes. And that's when I realized it's the foods that we eat here is causing all them problems. And
Right.
so that's
Now I agree to that, man. Food, man. It's the ingredients on why people are addicted to the food. A lot of people just, like I said, they're not willing to get the knowledge, and they're not willing to accept. And I want to ask you this too, because I had this experience before. Have you ever dealt with somebody who wasn't willing to accept your teaching when you're trying to help them with their health?
Oh no. Oh yeah, all the time. I don't try to tell people, what I mean? All I
Yeah.
do is tell people what I did to save me. You know what I mean? Because when I went to Africa, I wasn't thinking about nobody but me. When I was in China, I was thinking about nobody but how to save my life. Because I didn't want
Right.
to deal with Western medicine of dealing with my problem. Because I knew all they gonna know how to do is to cut you and give you drugs. And
Yeah.
so I don't even on my website and stuff. I tell even in my book, I tell people that I wrote this book. I'm just showing you what I did. You don't have to do it. I'm just showing you what saved me. And
Right. Right.
mm-mm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
no, no, definitely, definitely, definitely. This my this is one of my last questions before we switch topics, man. And what I want to ask you is, man, what's the biggest thing people do that slows down their own healing?
Um, what's the main thing that they do?
Yeah, so I'm gonna repeat the question. So, what's the biggest thing people do that slows down their own healing?
What what they eat and drink and smoking and all those things. Their lifestyle. They
Yeah,
get caught up with with what's happening on television. Or I'm supposed to have a big car. Or, eat this foods or or wear this clothes. Or do this and it's all trickery. I mean, when I
right.
grew up in the '60s, '50s, and the '60s, everybody, probably 80% of people smoked cigarettes. Presidents, ball players, everybody smoked cigarettes. But
Hmm.
they was tricked. When they tried to quit, they couldn't because they was hooked. You know what I mean? It's trickery. Everybody trying to trick you and fool
Mm.
you. You know what I mean? Cigarettes. Now they got whatever they're doing in the clubs and liquor. They don't even put. They don't have to put the ingredients in the liquor. You don't know what you're drinking. They tell
Right.
you cognac. What is cognac? I mean, so you're getting tricked all the time. Your
Hmm.
friends, they don't know. When I grew up, everybody was trying. Here, take a sniff of this cocaine. Take a sniff of this heroin. Smoke this weed. They being tricked. They don't even know what they eating and putting in your body.
Right.
You just doing drink this, take a sip of this. So yeah, you're being the most people because you're being tricked and fooled, and your friends don't know because they tricked. I
Right.
got some of my friends are all gone. They did. They got sick from this, died from this, got this. I had a good friend of mine. This real quick story. We were
Hmm.
in Atlantic City. No, I was in New Jersey, in New Jersey. And this is 30, 35 years ago. And I had seen my friend, we went to school together. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And so he said, come to go, he wanted me to go to a bar with him. So I went to the bar and sat down at the bar. And so he ordered a drink. And I told the lady to bring me an orange juice. And he said, man, you can't drink no orange. You got to get a drink like me, man. And I said, no, I said, give me an orange juice. And he said, no, okay. He kept saying, give him what I'm drinking. And I told the lady, I said, listen, the last time I had a drink, I killed a man. And so she said, oh, I'll get you a drink, orange juice for this man. So I just said that to eliminate him from
Yeah.
saying anything else. And about 35 years later, he called me. And he was in the hospital. And he said to me, he said, Dwight, he said, I wish I had that orange juice with you. I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, what you mean? His name was Alfonso. He
Yeah.
said, I wish I had that orange juice with you, man. And I realized what he was saying. He just kept on drinking and smoking all those years, and it caught up with him. And
Wow.
like you said, he didn't have the discipline to go the other way. And I wasn't being influenced by that. And I said, no,
Def.
you got
And
to know. So
yeah,
that's why I
no.
say it's here. You got to make up your mind and control your mind.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, man. And you being older and wiser, and I want to ask you this question, man. Like, what is the biggest difference you see with your generation and this one?
Uh, this generation is stronger, more confident. Uh, they're they, they're headed down the wrong path in a way of getting caught up with the world about money, jewelry, clothes, and if you can conquer, that's what I believe. If you can conquer the control of money, you
Mm,
can nobody can control you. You got that's freedom. But as long as people, they chasing money, they ain't gonna be free. You know, um, of course you need money to live by, but
right.
you don't have, that cliche in the Bible. You know what I mean? It can't be your love.
Mm,
On my book, the last chapter of my book, the last paragraph, I end the book by saying this: that in 100 years, people will turn the news on, and they're not going to be talking about the richest man in the world, what he did, what the richest man in the world is doing. In 100 years, they're going to talk about what the healthiest man in the world is doing, what the happiest man in the world is doing, because that's the key. People keep trying to
mm,
get money because they think that's going to be happiness. You think Donald Trump is really happy? You think they stressed out? Okay,
mm,
the key is about being happy. I know what Donald Trump he's a baby. He born in the 40s, just like me. Okay, his health is horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. But man,
So
I
so
know how
Miss
he feels.
but Miss Williams, I want to ask you this, but how so what's the steps to be happy? Because a lot of people say that a lot. It's all about the happiness. Like people don't know that they don't know how to put it into action. So how can someone put it into action?
Happy, look, happiness is being like believe me, this brother here is happy. Being able to do what you want to do when
Mm,
you want to do it. Okay, getting up when I want to get up. You know what I mean? Eating the foods and being around the people that I love. You know what I mean?
right.
Doing this interview, not because I got to go here, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to get this guy, get his money, I got to, chasing money. No, because if you perfect anything, the money will come to you.
Oh.
If you all you gotta do is perfect whatever your craft is, the money will come to you. Okay? People ask me, well, how did you go to China and Africa and all these countries? How you do that? About money? I had money. I represented companies. I
Mm-hmm.
opened up in 1980 the first African fast food restaurant in the world at Harbor Place in Baltimore, along with 50 other restaurants. They
Yeah.
had 50. Oprah Winfrey was there for the grand opening, and I learned how to eat the foods that when I got from Africa without all
Right.
the sugar and the process. I brought in water, bottled water, to the United States in the 1990s before Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola even brought bottled water. I had bottled water in Baltimore, which was voted the #1 water in Baltimore. Had my picture on it, called D
Yeah.
Water. Okay, you can go to the website. I still got my old website. All you gotta do is D Water USA. Just the initial D Water USA
Yeah.
.com. You go in, but uh, um, um, I had underwear. I manufactured underwear in the 80s.
Mm.
Sold it to Kmart was the largest stores in America back then. Kmart, Zayre's, McCoy's, Sears. Those are the stores I sold it to. So what I'm saying is that this mind, you got to control your mind and be disciplined on what you want. You got to know what you want in
Yeah.
life. Most people don't know what they want,
They
but
don't.
you got to
Like,
sit down and and spend time with yourself.
yeah.
Since your father passed, you had time to reflect on yourself and your father and your relationship, and
Yep.
you realize I don't want to go that way. I see my father. I'm going this way,
Right.
and it's in your you're disciplined. You already know that's what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And so most people don't they don't spend time with themselves
Yeah.
to know.
I agree to
And
that. No, I agree to that. And I think too, Miss Williams, man, I think a lot of people ain't a lot of people is spiritually lost, man. They're not really grounded with God, man. I believe God can give you that clarity of things. When you start leaning to your own understanding, that's when you messing up. But when you start leaning on God and being consistent, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm holy because I'm still
I
have my
understand.
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah. No, I give all glory to God for giving that clarity, and I believe God did that for you too as well to give you that clarity, and I believe this is the reason why me and you both are speaking to
right,
spread a message and
right,
spread awareness, stuff like that. So yeah,
right.
and I want to ask you this too, man. We're gonna take a quick pivot, man. Couple more last questions, man. So um, oh wait. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm one of the things you talk about with your content is working out with your wife, right? And what I want to ask is, man, because this is for some advice for myself too. So,
Yeah.
what makes a marriage truly last, in your opinion?
Uh, it gets right back to that word love, knowing what makes you happy, what you want in life. I lived in Detroit for 22 years. Never met a lot of women. I didn't meet anybody I wanted to marry, to be with for the rest of my life. But I came to Maryland, Baltimore, Washington area, and I met my wife, and we've been together for 53 years. Okay,
Mm,
when I saw her, I said that's her. Okay, so you know you'll know. I don't settle for anything. I do the things that, like I said, that I love. I chose the wife that I love, the car that I drive, I love my
Right.
homes. I got 2 homes. I love my homes. I love my family. Love,
Mm.
and so I like her. We're good friends. And so it's got to be. We were just talking about that today, and it's got to be somebody that's compatible. You got to be able to talk to this person and know their character. It's not just because you
Right.
look good or this guy's tall, I like a tall guy. You got to get into their family structure, how she thinks, how you want to raise kids, how you want to raise your family. Are these people clean, moral? I mean, all of those things.
Right.
Um, and but the main thing is it's got to be a friendship. I tell
Mm.
people today, I said my wife ran off with somebody today. You know what I mean? I can't stop her if that's what she wanted. Because God gave us free will.
Mm.
But I said I go up to their house and see if I can still knock on the door, see if I could talk to her and spend some time with her. I just like her. We're friends. We talk
Mm.
about everything together.
Mm.
I had a friend of mine years ago, and I was traveling. I traveled a lot, and I would talk to my wife a lot. He said, "What do you talk about with your wife all the time?" I said, "We talk about everything." I said, "We talk about you too." What I mean? So we talk about everything. So you got to be with somebody that you can talk to, you can laugh with, you
Yeah.
can trust, and they can
Yeah.
trust you.
No, man. That's some good advice, man. Because man, Mr. Williams, my generation different, man. These women is different, man. Like
They just right. They just want some money and what you can
man.
do for them. And but you gotta. But let me tell you, my son said the same thing. 'Cause my son would come over to the house, and he would want my wife to you know to, type this or do some clerical kind of work for him. And I said,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that's my wife. You gotta find your own. You gotta find your own woman to do that. And he said, but Dad, they don't make them like mom no more. I can't find them. I said, you looking in the wrong places. I said, they out here. Yeah,
Yeah, you
they
right on
they
that
they
one.
here.
I agree. I can't even lie to you on that one. I definitely got the wrong places. I look at the like for me, I look at a woman for the wrong. No, I'm saying it's wrong. I talk to a woman for the wrong reasons and not looking at her personality. I get caught up in the looks and she
Yeah,
got this shape and I'm not looking at how her heart is or her
yeah,
personality is.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
yeah, nah,
Yeah, and listen, think about this. You can be with your friends, or you can meet somebody, and then you can say, this guy or this girl is unattractive. But then when you get to know them, their personality is so outstanding. They don't look unattractive anymore. You get to know them.
right.
I have a good friend of mine. My wife said he's the ugliest man I've ever seen in my life, and I said he ugly. I said not to me. I mean, so that stuff goes away. Like you said, personality is everything. And
Mm,
um,
I agree with
so
that.
yeah, I
So
have a son-in-law. Somebody he's from another country. People might say he's unattractive. Man, this guy is. I think he is the greatest guy, and he's like a son to me. I mean, he is the greatest guy in the world. I mean,
mm,
he's just a wonderful person. He's incredible.
yeah.
And so
So basically, you feel like people need to stop looking at looks and look at the personality instead.
oh yeah, yeah, because the
Okay,
looks fade. I don't look like I used to look. People, personality.
that
This
never fades.
the interior is who you are. The exterior is your presentation, but this is,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
uh,
No, you're right on that one, man. So I want to ask. So, how do you keep? How do you and your wife keep the spark alive over the decades? Because sometimes
because
people get before you answer, I see a lot of couples who've been married for 30 plus years. They end up getting a divorce, and it's just crazy. So how do how you and your wife keep that spark?
yeah, we're human, so in 53 years, we've had ups and downs, and
Right, right.
but uh, I I love her and she loves me. I like her, and there's nobody else I've ever seen that I want to be with. You know,
Mm.
I rub her feet. I haven't seen no other woman. I'm not trying to. I don't want to rub that girl's feet. You know what I mean? No,
Right.
the things that I've done to her and with her, and she's done to. I only want to do that with her, and so it's just that bond. and
Right.
we raised 4 kids, and I mean, I had doctor, TV anchor, Wall Street executive, and my son is on the internet, music, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's a great relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm choosy, just like I'm choosy. I talk about food and what I drink. Choose
Mm-hmm.
about the people I'm with. I don't hang around with a whole lot of people. I got a select group of people that
All
I'm
right.
with that when I fall short, they can boost me up, and vice versa. I can boost them up.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. 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 No, that's good, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning what you saying. Because you know, how can I explain this? My generation, I'm speaking for my generation, we don't know how to keep that spark alive. We don't know how to deal with adversities in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get so caught up in this fairy tale world where everything's going to be great all the time. And then when we go through our ups and downs, as you just mentioned, people just run away. But I feel like I'm a firm believer, which you can add your sense to it. You got to go through something to get to something. I call it growing pains.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
you're the man. I'm the man. So we have to set the criteria because every woman wants a man she can look up to. She got to have somebody that I don't care if she's an astronaut. She wants somebody that she can learn from and she can look up to. So you got to be a man. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
relationship, you have to lay down, from the beginning what you um, expect from her and what she can expect from you.
Okay. So
And
let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this, Miss Williams. What's something you wish more young men understood about being a man?
that you uh, are the man. You are the head of any relationship you get into. You are the head, and
Right.
you have to take the lead. She will. Women want they're designed to follow, but if you're not strong, they're gonna buck and they're gonna resist and and all you have to do is be straightforward and honest. Even if you like 2, 3 women, if you want to tell her that I like you and I like her too, okay, and look her in the eye and say, "Can that's what I want?" What's she gonna say? Yes or no? I mean, you don't have to
Right.
sneak around and do this. That's when they're gonna respect you. They say, man, he told me he liked me and her. She might say yes. Okay.
Right.
So I'm just saying, whatever, I'm being extreme, but I'm just saying, whatever the relationship is, you the head. You got to
Right.
take charge. And she's looking for you to take charge. And if you don't, that's when you're going to have a lot of disagreements and
All
problems
right.
because she's trying to go ahead of you. And
Mm.
but women are designed to follow, and they want a leader. They want to be led. And
Right.
so you gotta. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm saying everything is here. Listen real quick, when I close. I was, I might have told you this before. In Africa, there was a warrior, 2 of them. They were going out uh, with just spears. There's 20 lions eating a buffalo.
Yeah.
And can you imagine what that sounds like? They snatch. I mean, that is a horrendous sound, loud, snatching food. And these warriors were walking straight towards those lions,
Yeah.
deliberate, walking. The lions look and they just walking straight at them lions. Got nothing but a spear, walking right
Mm-hmm.
at them lions. Okay, mind control, mind power. About 5 or 6 of the lions ran off because the men were coming straight at them. 2 of them, skinny dudes, little.
Mm-hmm.
All of them ran away. They walked up to that buffalo, cut the piece of meat they wanted, put it over their shoulder, turned their back, and walked away. And the lions came back. What I'm saying is, in Africa, they got that was mental strength that they learned that they passed down from century to century, child to child. They had to go through those
Yeah.
growing pains to grow up to learn how to have that kind of mind control. And that's what it is,
Mm.
controlling your mind. laying down a path in your life. I want to do this. I want this kind of woman. I want this kind of house. I want this, and then go for it and get that woman in line that you want, and she'll be right there for you and with you.
Right.
But you got to have
Right.
a plan, and she's got to know that, wow, I got a
Mm.
man, and she gonna be proud. Oh, my man, this is my man. Okay,
Right.
so yeah.
No, Mr. Williams, you giving out free game, man. I'm definitely taking mental notes and people that's listening, I hope they can keep that in mind. And this is my last two questions, man. What do you want people to remember you for?
Um, that this was a guy who enjoyed his life. He showed us about how to enjoy life. That because I tell people, you could be you know in New York, you could be in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
and never leave Brooklyn. All you know is Brooklyn. Because a lot of people live in Brooklyn. They never even been to Manhattan. They never go to the Bronx. They just right
Right.
there. God gave us this entire planet. This is yours. You can do anything. You can go anywhere. This mind is the strongest entity on the planet. I mean, 25 years ago, I couldn't talk to you like this on this how we communicate right now. But
Mm-hmm.
somebody's mind developed this. You can
Right.
do this life. If this guy gave us free choice, free will. You can do it. You wanted to talk today.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to do that. You made it happen.
Right.
You can do anything. So I would, if they know, just to know that you can do anything in this world. And I've been everywhere. I've done it. I've lived this life, and I've enjoyed every second of my life. And so
Yeah.
uh, that's the joy that I have, and be able to let people know that you can enjoy this thing, and you don't have to succumb to having the canes and you get older thinking that you can't do. I do everything I've been doing,
Right. Right.
everything.
Right. Okay. No, man. That's deep, man. Because you definitely accomplished a lot in your lifetime. A lot of you've been an entrepreneur. You started businesses. You know what I'm saying, and you still keep going. You never stay stagnant. And that's something that I admire. That's something that's giving me more motivation to continue living my life. You honestly, Miss Williams, you giving me inspiration, man. Like
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm glad you took this opportunity to allow me to interview you. And this is my last question. I want to ask you. What lessons are you most proud you passed down to others?
Which you alluded to, the fact that I went to Martinique. I'm going to the island of Martinique. Martinique is in the French Caribbean. Uh,
Okay.
the end of this month, and I was there 25 in the 90s, and that's where my water came from. I brought water, that bottled water, back from there. Just the things that I've done. I manufactured underwear. I did the water. I was in Africa negotiating cement to build the capital in Nigeria. I've done so many things, man. I think the business aspect is really to show our people that we can do anything, that we got the power to do anything,
Right.
and we and I just you can do anything, and love your life. Don't let anybody persuade you that you are less than.
Mm-hmm.
I have communicated with business people from Kmart stores to the presidents. I've talked to everybody. And so I enjoy being able to talk to anybody, from the president to the person that's digging a ditch, and I have the same respect for all of them. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah,
Definitely. Well, man, you definitely leaving a legacy here.
yeah,
You left a legacy here, I should say. Because
good,
I feel like if you can inspire one person,
yeah,
that's it right there. And I'm one of those people.
yeah,
So I want to say thank you. And I thank God for us to have this interaction that we have, man. And that's all the questions I have. I want to say thank you for your time, man.
yeah. Hey, let me just say this in closing to you and to your listeners. Enjoy your life. I had a friend of mine, in Africa. Instead of saying "see you later," "goodbye," "take care," he would say, "Enjoy your life." And so I like to say that in closing.
Oh yeah, for
Enjoy
sure,
your life.
man. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
All right, well, you take care.
Okay.